Hi, and welcome to the week 8 of your Troy Literature course. You have finished week 7, and so now you're into week 8, and you really are hopefully feeling quite comfortable and confident as you go into 8 and 9, and of course 10. I will be opening up the final shortly. The final is once again open book, open note, and it is not proctored. What this means is that you can go into the final anytime you want. You can leave it, you can enter it, you can look at your notes, you can really make this the most robust final that you can. I'm not trying to, remember that a midterm and a final is not meant to try to punish you, but instead to really kind of see what you construct. I know the midterm is really hard for some of you, and I want to let you know that I have extra credit available. It's down at the bottom of the page of the discussion board. Please feel free to use it. It's a great remedy to kind of address some of the concerns you may have as far as your grade goes. And like I said, it's available to you. The final will be opening up shortly, and then you will be able to access it. And like I said, you can enter it, exit as many times as you like, and you also can look at your notes and any of the other information that you feel will help you. Please take a look at your midterms. I have posted the grades so you can look at those. I highly recommend doing the extra credit, which is down at the bottom of the page of the discussion board, because it will be helpful. Week 8, lesson 13, is really about fiction in the 50s. So you'll be reading Saul Bellows' Augie March, Flannery O'Connor's Good Country People, and John Cheever's The Swimmer. And you can kind of see the shift that is occurring in the 1950s to the 1960s in this work. Week 9 will be the 60s and minimalism and post-colonialism. And those will be the last 2 postings. So we don't have much left in the class. So, and then of course the final. Now, as far as week 7 goes, I really am impressed with the work that you guys are doing. Week 7, when I went through the work, I think pretty much everyone has achieved a really good understanding of the literature, but also how to kind of engage it. And so I'm really cautiously optimistic that your final is going to be absolutely fantastic. I think overall, starting with Sadie's post, you really did do a solid job of engaging the literature and of giving a good sense of perspective. Let me pull that up real quick. Okay. Sadie's was, in fact, one of the best postings that kind of provided a guide from modernism to postmodernism. And most of you did mention this tension in the literature, specifically in the Harlem Renaissance and the African American literature, but then kind of in Sylvia Plath's Daddy, the tension between genders. April White mentioned about the fish, the idea that Elizabeth Bishop's work is a little bit different and a little more, I guess you'd say, realistic in a very different way than Sylvia Plath's is. So I appreciate that observation that was made. And thank you for doing that, April, with the fish. Furthermore, okay, one second. Sorry, I'm having some techie difficulties with our board. Stephanie's posting also was good. I wish the observations on Langston Hughes were absolutely fantastic. And this idea of the tension that was occurring in the Harlem Renaissance. I appreciate that, Stephanie. And I know that some of you, like I said, have contacted me and been like, oh, my final or my midterm was really bad. Remember that you can ameliorate that by completing all the discussion postings and, of course, by completing the extra credit. And so I definitely would recommend that you do that. As I was saying, Stephanie's posting was really engaged, and I enjoyed seeing the perspectives that were put forth. I think also the connections that were made in Virgil's observations, specifically about Dos Passos and Plath, are interesting, an interesting comparison, as well as Collins' connection with the Harlem Dancer. I would recommend taking a look at that. And many of you did like the fish, including Colin and, of course, including um, Stephanie. Anthony's reading of For the Union Dead was really a solid one because it is very much about that imagery. Sonia's presentation of contemporary poetry with the focus on Hal is interesting. Ginsberg was a character. He really was an interesting fellow. And the fact that kind of this tension arises in his Hal poetry in that poem really is important, or in that book. Renika, I would have liked to see a little more evidence. Right now I'm seeing a lot about you, but not a lot about the work, so that would be a good place to kind of strengthen it. Kind of like Travis. Travis put in some anecdotes without doing direct quotes, which is perfectly fine to do. Russell, excellent observations. And Jennifer, I think a good start here, but a little more content would make this a little more focused. William, I like how you went through every reading. That you did enjoy the Harlem Renaissance readings, that you did kind of take something from it. Shanita's reading of the Gilded Six Bits was fantastic. Many of you liked that story because it was kind of a love story gone wrong, but it was an interesting text. And Renee also mentioned that she's a big sucker for the love stories, and so that definitely worked. But overall, your discussion postings this week were engaged. I look forward to seeing what you do with week 8 and then, of course, week 9. I'll be opening up the final shortly, and I will be sending you a posting. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and keep me posted. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.